My name's Daniel. I am a chef. I work for a company called Topgolf. It's a US-based company, and we just opened the first Southeast Asia location in Bangkok, in Thailand. I have been in Thailand 12 years now, and I have worked for a lot of big multinational companies like Starwood and Marriott, mostly in the hotel F&B section as a chef, as I said. And I have my own startup company, which is a chocolate production company, chocolate factory called Pretty Cacao Frivier. And I started that project about 5 years back. And it is, a chocolate company manufacturing local Thai chocolate from Thai ingredients. Came here first for a job. As I said, about 12 years ago, I decided to move here. I was here the year before that for a promotion. I used to do, like my background in cooking is fine dining. So I used to do a lot of chef promotions where you get hired to other restaurants in other cities or other countries and showcase sort of my style of cooking, my cuisine. And I also was here in Bangkok, invited here in a restaurant, and the restaurant operators were quite impressed apparently with what we did. And so they offered me a job. I was a bit hesitant at first, but obviously Thailand, the chef is a very interesting place. Thai cuisine is definitely something that all chefs globally talk about, and it's interesting for everyone. So I was, curious to try, and I thought I come here for a year or two. That's normally what chefs do. Normally, especially in the hospitality industry, you don't stay too long in one place because you also move up in your career by seeing a lot of different settings and different regions. So I thought I'd do a year or two in Thailand and then move on. But it's not a bad place to work. And 12 years later, I'm still here. So I sort of had a lot of opportunities here and a lot of interesting things. And I do quite enjoy living here and being here. So I stayed and I'm still here. I was already active in the hospitality scene for many years, right? So I've been here 12. I started my business 5-6 years ago. So I had already 6 years in the country. I had already very good connections to hotels, to restaurants, to chefs, a good understanding of what customers in Thailand like, a lot of connections and networks. So it's still difficult. It's always difficult to build out a solid customer base. It's always difficult to make sales, to grow, to increase. Like I said before, I love working with Thais because I think, especially in the food, like I work in food, right? And there's very few places in the world where people care so much about food, know so much about food, care so much about what they eat. So from a food perspective, like they have a lot of the skills required to just taste, understand flavor, and so on, and also are very, very good technically. Like often in Thailand, I am surprised often like how quick people learn something with their hands, learn something that is just about skill or like actual sort of like hand skill. That's really, really good. So from that perspective, I really feel you find very, very good people. What the challenge really was understanding how much I need to do and prepare from my side from a sort of strategic thinking position. And that was the biggest change for me, because I just deeply believed in giving people responsibility, giving people a lot of room to do how they think it should be done, and just measuring towards the final target. And yeah, like I said, in my first year, I failed with several times. Still remember a lot of events where this went miserably wrong, and I just had to re-look at like, what is it? Like, why is this not working, and what is my mistake? And then I really changed how I structure the work for my teams and the people I work with, and how do I communicate my ideas, and how much pre-work do I do, and how detailed am I in what I'm expecting, and that works a lot better. For me, like, you know, like I said before, I think it was fairly easy. I didn't really like, other than those culture challenges and sort of like, yeah, more like interpersonal connection challenges, like the rest was pretty easy because I came already in a job. I didn't, there wasn't anything where I went like, oh my God, like if only I had known that before, because I was like, from when I arrived here, there was always people around to help me and support me, and like, you know, like if you work for a big hotel company, there is an HR team, and there is like a lot of people you can ask, and a lot of people that can also give you good advice and good direction. So I wasn't really ever in the situation where I had to make a decision and had no one to ask, and then later felt like, oh man, I wish I had known that. Very, very different. Like, I think I would strongly advise against anyone saying, okay, you know what, I sell everything back in Europe and come here and I'll just try. I think I would always strongly advise for testing it out. Maybe like, I have a lot of friends that do sort of like a, you know, few months here, few months there kind of thing. Like, I think that's a great way to ease into it. A lot of especially startup entrepreneurs can work from anywhere, you know, so why not decide to come here for 6 months and see how that works before, say, starting something completely new from scratch in Thailand. Because as much as it can be hugely successful, I've also seen it over and over again over the years where people really couldn't make it work and really struggled for periods of time. And then if you've really made the hard move and resettled completely, then you're somewhat stuck without an easy way out. So I would like definitely encourage people to cut yourself some slack and give yourself room to just try and test it. Then I think you'd have a lot more positive experiences and a lot less of the frustrating negative ones. And then again, another thing that I can say maybe for what keeps me here, I feel especially Thailand is extremely fast moving. I mean, that's true for all of Asia, but within Southeast Asia, Thailand is one of the most active, constantly changing, constantly evolving countries. Definitely way up there. And not just Thai food. I think Thai food is extremely liked by many globally, but it's not just the Thai food that's really good here. I think it's by now in Bangkok almost anything. Like it's also something you see in hotels. When you open a hotel in Paris, all you gotta do well is French food. No one expects you to do anything else well. When you open a hotel in Bangkok, you obviously have to have good Thai food, but you also have to have Western food, and you have to have Chinese, and you have to have Indian, and you have to have Japanese, and you have to have Korean, and you have to be good in all of this to have a good reputation in this marketplace. So in terms of food, you can eat almost any cuisine you want in Bangkok, and you'll find a really, really good restaurant or a place that does it really well. So I think Thai food, yes, but also other food it's definitely a good place to be. Travel, I think, is great, whether you like beaches or diving, or whether you like sort of more culture trips. It's incredibly cheap to travel in Thailand, and there's a lot of really beautiful locations, and hotels are fairly cheap and beautiful and abundant. So for people that really crave this, like I like to do this, you know, the work-life balance, take a few days off and just go somewhere nice and relax. That's really, really easy to do here, and there's plenty of opportunities to do so. So I think the weather is overall quite nice here. Another thing that I like is that there's a lot of agriculture here, and a lot of this is again sort of food related, but it's also it's especially in Southeast Asia. There's not like in Thailand you have a lot of farming, you have a lot of agriculture, and it's very close to food production. So just ingredients are pretty good, and the supply chains of ingredients are fairly short, and it's also in terms of food production, not just restaurants, a really good place that I think it's easy to eat really well in Thailand. But yeah, like travel in general is pretty good and pretty easy here. And also in Thailand, it's fairly easy to, you know, just drive somewhere in a car. Like you don't have to always fly. So yeah, it's like for travel and for doing stuff, it's definitely a really good place.